Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sit Down and Lock Down with me, Joe Emilio, and as always, a guest on the show. And tonight we have someone very special, and I'm so excited to be chatting with her tonight. But before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you, one, don't forget that you can donate to us, please. This is in an effort to help the performers. Every time I have a performer / guest on my show, the show is dedicated to them, which means that the donation box is dedicated to them for that episode, which means anything you give will be split between me and my guest. I get 20%, they get 80% of the proceeds. And I say proceeds because Cricket takes a bit of a cut. But it's a very small cut. So give. If you can, I know times are tough. You don't have to, it's not a must, but it's an option. The other thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the first time, well, not the first time, but it is official that I will no longer be going live on Facebook. It's time for everybody to come over to YouTube. Let's grow this community, this awesome channel on YouTube. So please, if you're here for the first time, please subscribe, please like the video. I've got more content coming your way, and I also interview other comedians. I've got a whole lot of other comedians lined up throughout the course of the lockdown, or who knows for how long we're going to be, but I'll be entertaining you nearly every night. So that's a reason to subscribe, and it's free. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those of you who are tuned in. Thank you so much. And don't forget that you can ask us questions at any time. If we can, we will address them. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, even though we may not hear it at all. But still, put your hands together. Applaud like crazy. Please welcome my guest onto the show tonight. The one, the only, the fantastic Chantal Venter. Say hi, Chantal.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, Joe?
I'm good. We have some viewers already, guys. Please start saying hi and commenting on the video. We'd love to hear from you. Chantal, you look good. You shaved your head though.
Yeah, look, I regretted it instantaneously after that, I can promise you. I'm looking like the butchest lesbian that my mother always expected me to be.
Oh yeah? Do you think this tops it though? Come on.
No, dude, let's be honest. I'm just happy that my head is not a slight bit deformed. So, like, there's a big difference. If you're a guy, you can do that thing. If you're a girl, you do that thing. You just automatically become a lesbian, which is ironic because, well, here I am. But, hey.
Oh man, that's funny. Hey, we have I believe this is Vision, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be. I'm gonna actually say his name. Munashi Masango. Yay, Jack's Justice.
Hey, dude.
That's a really weird way to say yay, because he literally said Y and then quadruple E, Jack's Justice. So I don't know what that is. But
Okay,
thank
but
you.
why would you say it like that? It makes sense, but it's okay. We'll leave it. He's actually a really nice guy. He's a follower of mine on Facebook. So
Awesome.
dope. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in, buddy. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video at least. All right, so we also have Storm here who says Barber Buddies. Hashtag Barber Buddies. Thanks, Storm, for tuning in as well. Okay, cool. So as some of you might know and some of you don't know, I always have a nice lekker chat with the comedians on this channel. I always like to start with this question just to get things started. Chantal, tell me, is there anything that you're missing or craving during the lockdown besides stage time?
Look, I think I fulfilled that craving. I felt like sushi, so we got sushi. I literally sanitized the entire container, but it was so worth it. And obviously the other thing is tobacco. I'm missing tobacco so much. Like I'm at that point now where stage time doesn't even matter to me because I just want to smoke. So bad.
That's saying a lot, actually.
It's so bad, dude. You can't even scorely because, I know we're all trying to do stuff illegally, but it's expensive. So no, just abide by the law and don't die.
Yeah, I got into trouble for telling some of my friends, like, well, maybe now it's your time to quit smoking. And oh my word, was I canceled.
Yeah. It's like almost saying to somebody, yo, when they're angry, yo, just calm down.
Yeah.
Never worked in the history of time. Nobody's ever calmed down by that. So,
And you're lucky that you got sushi, man, because like it's funny. I have this thing. I cannot. Where did you get sushi from? What restaurant?
the Blue Marlin down the road in Obbs.
I see, you're lucky. That's probably a really nice sushi place, I guess.
It is good.
Okay. Our place that me and my wife like to go to all the time. They're not open. They're not even doing deliveries. So there's this one place that we've seen on Mr. Delivery before, but we haven't had it. And I don't know if you're like me or if anybody else watching is like me. Please let me know in the comments. But I'm skeptical to just order another sushi place if I haven't been there before, if I haven't tried their sushi before, because I've had some bad experiences with new sushi places. So I cannot fulfill my sushi craving at the moment, which is really sucky for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sushi can be so bad from places sometimes, like that dry rice,
Oh yeah.
or like just like old sashimi, and it's like, you can use it as a patch
No,
on your
man.
tire if you needed to. I've been there.
Oh my
Been there.
word. Okay. I haven't been to places like that. Damn.
You don't have a lot of time to think, okay? Like this time here, I've become funnier in lockdown. My
I
thoughts
think
are just everywhere.
I think every comedian has become funny. We're doing.
Thank God we've done it eventually. We've become funny.
Yeah, I'm seeing some weird stuff, man. Even I'm doing some weird stuff just to get people to laugh. I mean, I've tried to do magic now. I'm getting into that space, expand my career options, so to speak. And it's not going too well. It's really not.
Okay. I noticed. I watched some of the videos and I was like, no, I almost unfollowed you because of it. I'm just kidding.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, Chantal Venter is with me today. Tonight, she is an old friend. Actually, her and I go way back. And later on, we're going to be playing a game with you guys. So please, those of you that are watching, don't go anywhere. It's a really awesome game, and you guys get to also be involved. And we might do a second game. More on that a bit later. So don't forget to subscribe and like, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to ask Chantal some more questions, starting with, and I think this is a question I also like to ask all my guests because it's always interesting to know from each comedian where they got started, how they got started, why they started to do what they wanted to do. So why don't you tell us your story, your journey to why you wanted to do stand-up and your journey to the first time you ever performed.
Well, it's really funny because I don't think that I ever really wanted to do stand-up. I loved watching stand-up. And then I moved to Durbanville from Johannesburg, and there was this evening that a friend of mine said, oh, hashtag that's funny, which is you, was having a open mic competition. And she thought I was really funny and I was supposed to do it and da-da-da-da. And I said I don't want to. So one of my friends actually offered to pay me to do the open mic thing. And I mean, like, I was a waiter, I was broke, and I would take any payment at that point. So I took $500 and I did the thing, and I did well on the first evening. I mean, I brought the entire Cape Town lesbian scene, but I did well.
You did do well.
I literally got laughs because they were like, it's our friend, we have to. But it was, yeah, I always compare comedy a bit to like getting a tattoo, because like once you've done it the first time, and it's kind of like that itch. It just keeps coming back and you just want to do it more. And I think after the first year, I started taking it a bit more seriously. And where I am now, I want to succeed in comedy so badly that I work so hard to achieve it. But the work is so worth it because it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly.
It's, yeah, great.
We have Oba King Moreau has joined us. He says, I is also here. Hello, Oba King. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello, Baba.
All right, so yes, you're right. I know exactly how you got started. I was working at a bar where I was organizing gigs at that bar. We decided to do a competition, something I've been wanting to do for a while, where I hosted that competition, and you were one of the people that I think wasn't it Inga who possibly told me about you and said
Oh,
like
Natasha, maybe.
maybe
Natasha?
Natasha. No, Natasha, you're right. Natasha was the one, and she told me about you. I can't remember. I think we contacted on Facebook. I don't remember, but anyway, long story short, you were on the lineup. You got on the show. You did well. You got very far, actually. You got
I actually finished second.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, and let me explain something, guys. This is someone who literally the first time ever on stage, her first 3 minutes or 5 minutes, can't remember how long it was in a competition, a stand-up comedy competition. Most people start, at an open mic night for 5 minutes. This chick started with 5 minutes at a competition and got to like the semi-final or finalists, which is a very big deal. It's a very big deal. It's well done.
Yeah, that was an accomplishment. I won't lie. Like it was good.
Yeah. So.
It was really.
And you've gone on to do quite a lot of other things, which has made all of us quite proud, especially me from my side. You've gone on to become nominated in one of South Africa's most prestigious awards for stand-up comedy, which is the SA Comics Choice Awards. You were nominated for Audience Choice, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that was last year.
So audience choice is hectic, dude, because it's a lot of work that goes into audience choice. And just to get the nomination itself was a lot of work. But it also means that you've got a bit of a true reflection of people appreciating your work, if that is the category that you get nominated for. And I mean, like, winning an award is great, but having a nomination is just as great.
Exactly.
Yeah, it takes you up to a new level. Also, it still feels a bit surreal, like where I am in comedy right now.
Yeah.
I always like, you get up in the mornings and you think, nah, do I deserve this? I don't know. But if you look back at the hard work, you realize that you actually do deserve it.
Yeah. And you also made your TV debut. Tell us about that. How was that experience?
Oh my God, dude, that was absolutely phenomenal. So, TV debut is Cake Net, and that's obviously a production with Casper de Vries, who I've idolized since I was a kid. So it was a massive thing for me to be working with him. And it was just absolutely insane. It was this completely unscripted show that we shot in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, there was nothing around us. We were in Cullinan. And so if you ever want to go somewhere and you don't want to see, like, the town that you will not pick up coronavirus in is Cullinan, because there's nobody to distance yourself from. It's insane. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. And I got to work with Sculpus Edenote and Arno Greef and Mila Guy and quite a few big people. And the show is on every Monday on Cake Net at 8:30, Kasupikasi, so you guys can go and watch it. Oh, you can't watch it because you don't understand Afrikaans.
Unfortunately.
So, damn.
But is there subtitles there?
Oh, no. Afrikaans people don't care about English people. We just go, here is our language. Listen. We just don't care. We're such a selfish culture.
Here is our language. Listen. That's brilliant.
So I want to tell you, like, do I have time for me to tell you a funny story?
Of course.
So we lived in the Cullinan Diamond Lodge while we were shooting, and we had our rap party the last evening. It was a karaoke rap party at a place called Cockpit. Now, I did not expect that in Cullinan, but it's a gay bar. And so we get there, and there's this table of lesbians in the front, and I do some stand-up, and I'm roasting everybody that was part of the cast. And this woman gets up, and she walks to me, and she goes, "Hi, can you see my teta?"
No.
And I start getting nervous. So I'm like, "No, I'm cool. I can't see anything." And the makeup artist is also a lesbian, and she looks at both of us, and she goes, "Are you a couple?" And this is the moment where I decide I don't care about my relationship. I'm saving my life. I'm like, yes, this is my girlfriend. So she says, I've noticed that you told us now that you are living in 4 Cullinan Diamond Lodge. I said, yes, I'm living in 4 because I was living in 12. But the very big bouncer guy that was living with us on the Cullinan Lodge was living in 4. Have a good evening. Because I don't think he was going to take it kindly for you to wake him up at 4. That woman scared the hell out of me.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's really funny.
that was the show. That was the highlight. It wasn't even part of the show, which is ironic. Yeah, but it was fun, and I hope everybody just tunes in, checks it out.
Of course. Tell us, where can we? You said CakeNet. Say it again. When, and where?
Oh yeah, so it's channel 144 DSTV, which is CakeNet, and it's Castle Picasso Monday evenings at 8:30. We still have about 7 episodes left to air.
Cool. Do you want to give another synopsis of it in a bit more detail, or is it just like a random show?
Yeah, so it's weird because I got the phone call from the casting agent who said that Casper wanted to work with me, and I was watching an episode of Survivor, and I got the phone call, and he said to me, okay, so it's really cool. We're doing this thing where it's an Afrikaans voortrekker Survivor. And for a moment I was like, wait, are you watching me? Because like what's happening here? And that's literally what it is. It's just a bunch of people dressed in very old clothing. Like we are literally wearing voortrekker clothing and getting there on an ox wagon, and it's Survivor, and we just take each other out in the most Afrikaans way we could possibly think of.
That sounds really cool, man. I wish I could watch it now. Flip.
Yeah, it's hella funny. Like you can maybe get the ants to just like subtitle it for you in your ear.
Speaking of which, Storm here says $500 before comedy. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, Chantal could have been the first ever comedian to get paid before doing comedy.
Yeah, I was the Trevor Noah of getting paid before comedy. Like that was my life.
And then,
guys think I'm an amateur.
And then he also says, teach Joe an Afrikaans sentence. That's a magic trick. Well, yeah, why not?
No, but you see, the thing is, like, if I give you a sentence, you know that it's going to be dirty, but I also know that you know all the dirty words. So that's, okay, I can teach you a sentence. Maybe it's something that you could say to Leanne during this lockdown period.
Okay.
Maybe it will help your relationship flourish. So I think that the sentence we need to teach you is ek hou van. Ek hou van.
Ek hou van.
Jou sister.
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, you understand. You see this? I love this. I love when, like, you are bamboozling us, is what's happening. Like when we as Afrikaners go to London and we have this gossip session in line, and then we realize the auntie that's standing behind us, who we're gossiping of, is actually Afrikaans. That's what you just did to us.
I know some stuff. The thing is, like, it's for me. If you speak Afrikaans slowly, I can more or less gather what is being spoken about. I won't know every word, but I can get the premise and the story or whatever. But there are some people, that speak Afrikaans like very well. Like it's very, very Afrikaans, if I can put it that way. And it's like they speak it so quickly that I'm just like, I have no idea what is going on. But yeah.
Well, I grew up Afrikaans, and a friend of mine's mother was very articulate in Afrikaans, so it's like pure Afrikaans. And we were at her house one day, and she said something like, "Ons gaan na die wandellaan toe, bring die muntstukke." I was Afrikaans, and I had no fucking clue what this woman had said. It was that clear. Like, what she was actually trying to say is like, "Let's go to the mall, bring the change." Wow.
But that even sounded so eloquent. Like
I know. Like I didn't know that a mall in Afrikaans was a wandellaan. What the hell is that? I've never used that in my entire life.
Wait, I like learning this stuff too. The Afrikaans word, someone once told me, I remember it was very funny. The Afrikaans word for cucumber. Do you know it?
Oh, komkommer.
Yeah. I think that's one of the funniest things ever. And microhoof. That's the stuff I know.
Well, you're trying. It's cute. You're trying. You're getting there. It's not successful yet, but it will be. Like, listen, like it's just there's so many words in Afrikaans that are weird. Like, dude, you can't even imagine it. I think what is it? A knormoer. I think I might be wrong now, but a knormoer, I think, is a car starter.
A car starter. Oh man, there was
I
something.
can't. My father's a mechanic. He's never used those words before. Maybe my family's broken. I'm not sure. Like, we don't speak Afrikaans normally. Like, we're broken. We speak that broken Afrikaans.
I'm trying to remember this word that Leanne told me that I was like, that can't be. That, oh man, I'll WhatsApp you later. I can't remember it at all. But all I remember.
Well, okay. I'll give you a word, and it's gonna sound dirty, but it's not. Okay. So this is actually in a dictionary, and it's called poespas. Poespas is an actual Afrikaans word for confusion.
Oh my word.
Really?
So it's like,
did you ever use that?
It's like clusterfuck.
Like, exactly. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
But if you say poespas in Cape Town, I don't think you're gonna get the same response. It's gonna be different. It'll be like, well, I don't really know if I can fit it in here, so.
I actually kind of like that word. Poespas.
Remember it. It just means a confusion, chaos, basically. This is a poespas.
Oh my god, this is funny. Oba King says Microhoof is fucking hilarious. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Oba King. You're acknowledging Joe's skills. Listen, you have time. You have the entire lockdown to get Afrikaans under your knee.
That's also true. You're not wrong there. I think I have been somewhat trying because I've been watching. Leanne watches some Afrikaans stuff on YouTube, so I've been asking her, what does this mean? What does that mean? Which is how we got into that conversation of, oh man, I can't remember for the life of me. Funny cake. Why does that keep on? What translate funny cake in Afrikaans?
Funny cake, snaakse koek.
Koek snacks? No.
Koek sister?
Maybe, I don't know. It was something with cake and a weird, like in English it was really weird, but in Afrikaans it made absolute sense. And it was just weird. Anyway, Storm says, Joe, ask Chantal the Afrikaans word for milkshake.
It's melkskommel.
What?
But also the problem, melkskommel.
Oh my word.
So the problem with the word melkskommel is that Afrikaans people also use the word skommel as a slang word for fat. So yeah.
Doesn't skommel also mean like scaly, to do something dodgy, to do something like under the table?
No, maybe that, like, there's scolly, which is somebody
who
I'm
thinking of. Yeah,
scolly.
Okay.
But no, skommel is like shuffling of cards. So I don't get it. Milkshake, milk skommel. No. I feel dirty every time I say that word. Let's go out and have a milk skommel.
Do you think that's why like some Afrikaans people will say certain words in English? Because that does happen.
I think we've become lazy though, but yes, because I can guarantee you, like I had it's the equivalent of this. My friend's mother was from Belgium, right? And they were walking in the Checkers when they moved to South Africa, and her husband's like nickname for her was Puska. And saying that in South Africa is just not the same thing. I mean, I think it means my kitty or my little cat or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were in the Checkers, and he was like, "Oh, Puska, I love you." And the lady behind him was like, "Why did you just call your wife So yeah, be careful, be
Dude,
careful.
that story reminds me. I have a similar story. So my one of my all-time like longest friends ever. Like I've known him since I was in Egypt when I was like 14 years old. I still speak to him to today on WhatsApp and Facebook. So we're still friends. But he's in the States. I'm here, and he has a brother and a sister. His sister, his sister's name is Ibtisam. Now, anybody who knows the name Ibtisam, it comes with an interesting nickname. And I'm sorry, but in this context, it's not what you think it is. It's just a nickname. It's an innocent nickname. And in Egypt, it is super innocent. No one, no, no one like it. Pussy. That's her nickname. I'm
Could you imagine that? Like if he had to ask her father to marry her, he'd be like, "Sorry, sir, can I marry your pussy?"
oh, that's the thing. Like, look, I don't like that word, but like, oh my god, like just that. It's no. You don't
Well, it
understand.
depends
No,
on the
you.
context, and that's the problem.
But that's the thing. Like, if I put it into context, like if I remember every time I visited Sharif, that's my friend Sharif, right? And her mom would yell at the top of her lungs, "Pussy!" Why are we naming our children this way?
Like I bet you they didn't sit there and Google the whole world and go, you know what? No, this is bad. This is a bad idea. I mean, like when I was growing up, my mother used to call me Yas. Okay, so like Yas, come do this, and Yas in Afrikaans, in English is coat. My mother called me a fucking coat, and she still calls me a coat. She still calls me Yas. I don't get it. Yas for tight.
I wonder if your mom's watching.
This is what happens when you grow up in Brakpan. You guys think it's incest. It's just really, really bad nicknames. It's horrible.
All right. Well, we have a few viewers. So, those of you that are watching, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please do send them through. For those of you that are watching, we're about to play a game right now. We call it the interrogation game, and I'm going to explain it. So, all of you that are watching right now, please get involved. Don't be shy. Send us what you. I'll tell you how you can get involved, and you can just enter the live chats. Don't worry, it's free, and you can partake in this game. So, the game is called. I like to call this game the interrogation game. And basically, what's going to happen is Chantal has prepared three sentences about herself. I've prepared three sentences about myself, and we have to interrogate each other to find out which one of the three sentences. So one of the three sentences is a lie. So Chantal needs to find out which one of my sentences is a lie, and I need to find out which one of her sentences is a lie. We will each be given 2.5 minutes to interrogate one another. We'll do it one by one, and you guys can basically try and enter the live chat and tell us which sentence you think is the lie. So, for example, we're going to do this. Here it is. There's the clock. You guys can see it there. Cool. So we will start with Chantal. I'll be interrogating Chantal. So these are the sentences that she has sent in. And I'm going to read them. And then only when I read them, then I'll start the timer once we're all ready. So her first sentence was, I once got so drunk I peed on my girlfriend's shoe. I once got arrested for indecent exposure. That's number 2. And number 3, I drove my car straight into a sushi restaurant. Now, can I just say this right off the bat? All of these sound plausible. I don't mean that as a...
That's exactly why I chose them.
All of these sound plausible. I'm not going to lie. All right.
I've got a rap sheet. I
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you guys can start giving in which number you think is the lie. Try and help me out while I interrogate Chantal and try and figure out which one is the lie. In 3, 2, 1, my 2.5 minutes starts now. All right, which sushi restaurant was it? What was the name of the sushi restaurant?
Tonglok.
Okay. What year was this? Like, how old were you? That kind of, yeah. How old were you in this episode?
Oh, then I was 20. It was 2008.
2008. Okay. Was this at night or day?
It was night.
Night. Were you drunk?
Yes.
Okay. Was this the same night you got so drunk that you peed in your girlfriend's shoe?
It's not the same night. That was on 2 separate occasions, a month apart.
A month apart. Okay. Were you drunk for the entire month?
You have no idea. It was October. It makes sense.
Okay, so you peed in your girlfriend's shoes. This is your current girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend. Okay, cool. What shoe was it? Was it a Converse? Was it an Adidas? What?
It was World Industries skating shoe.
Oh, I hate you so much right now. Desecrated a skating shoe. Okay, I have about a minute and a half. Let's see. Got arrested for indecent exposure. Okay, when did you get, like, was this? I'm guessing you were drunk here too. Like,
I was. This all happens when I'm drunk. That was in 2007, and I was 19 years old.
19. Okay, for indecent exposure. So were you like completely naked or just what?
We were having sex in the car.
Oh, how long were you?
Yeah,
How long were you in prison for, or jail?
So I slept there for the weekend.
Okay. All right. Did you have more sex in the jail?
Listen, I had way more experience with flying that cell.
Okay. 35 seconds. Okay, so the comments are coming through. Marsha Robson says 3 is untrue. 3 is the lie. Storm thinks 2 is the lie. Oba King, help me out, man. Damn, you're giving like good answers and they're quick. What was the name of the girlfriend that you peed in her shoe?
Bingo.
Okay, so I have like 7 seconds left. So I've got to make a quick choice here. And damn, man, like I said, these are all plausible, especially because you said Ingo was involved. Now I'm like, okay, one is probably true.
That's fucking.
Ah, man, I feel like. See, here's the thing, right? So the sushi restaurant thing. Okay, I can't ask you any more questions. My time's up. But I'm thinking that you don't just drive your car through a sushi restaurant and that doesn't become some kind of headline news, right? I mean, that's my logical thing. I could be wrong. And everyone in the...
No, that never becomes headline news. That becomes a funny story the cops tell their friends at Rise.
We have Monique Schlorf. I never know how to pronounce your name, Monique. I know who you are. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. I could never pronounce your last name. I'm so sorry. But Monique, thank you. Monique thinks that 3 is untrue. Oba King thinks that number 2... That doesn't help me, buddy. He says, I think 2 is a lie, but definitely plausible. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go with 3. I'm gonna go with 3. I drove my car straight into a sushi restaurant. That is the lie.
And you'll be right.
Yes.
I didn't drive my car through a sushi restaurant. A friend of mine did.
Okay. Wow, that must have been a hell of
So it's still a true story, just not my true story.
Yes. No, you did it right. That's how you play the game. Do you feel like explaining any of these statements, or are you happy to move on?
No, but it was really funny. Just a tidbit on the thing where my friend drove into the sushi restaurant. She got out of her car and she didn't have her shoes on, and the cops arrived and she put her shoes on, but the wrong way around without realizing it. So the cop's like, "Are you drunk?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm perfectly fine." He's like, "Okay, ma'am, because you've got your shoes on wrong." And she's like, "Nah, this is like wearing them like that." I watched this whole thing play down, and I'm like, "This is bad. This is bad."
Oh my word! Was that Shauna by any chance?
Oh God, no. We should still warn sushi places that she is still out there driving, but you know what I mean.
I know, but it's an inside joke. Not a lot of people are gonna get that. That's an inside joke. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
All
too
right.
good.
So here are my statements. I'm going to read them out for you as well. Okay, so here are my statements. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can comment again, and I will let Chantal know what you guys think is the lie to help her out. I'll also be updating you as the time goes down, but I'm only starting the time once I read these statements. So, statement number 1. I used to be the boss of my ex-girlfriend. Okay. Statement number 2. I did something illegal at the bar I used to work at. And number 3, I emceed one of Namibia's biggest festivals in 2018. Do you need me to repeat any of them?
I'm good.
All right, here we go. Your 2.5 minutes starts now.
Okay, you used to be the boss of your ex-girlfriend. Was this Cara?
No.
Okay. I did something illegal at the bar I used to work at. Was that Meraki that we're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. I emceed one of Namibia's biggest festivals in 2018. Which month?
February. End of February. Yeah.
End of February. And which festival was it?
Rock and Run.
Rock and Run. Okay, cool. I did something illegal at the bar I used to. Did you steal money?
No.
Okay.
It's a yes
You
or
don't
no
know.
question. You're like waiting for
Okay. Did you get fired from this bar, or did you walk away?
I walked away. 1.5 minutes.
Okay, you walked away. I used to be the boss of. Okay, so I know the first statement is true because I know you,
Mhm.
and I don't think that the second statement is true. But I can't remember where you were in 2018 because I swear to God, I don't think that you were out of the country, to be honest. But
You still have a minute.
I
You
do
still have over a
remember
minute. You still have
you
over a
were
minute.
in Namibia. So statement number 2 is false because you emceed at Namibia's biggest festival while you were doing dodgeball. So statement number 2 is false. You never did anything illegal at Meraki. You walked away because you weren't happy about the working circumstances.
Damn. That's got to be a record because you had 50 seconds left and you got it correct. Number 2 is the lie. I didn't do anything illegal at Meraki. If anything, I was the one thing that was good for that place. And
I could agree.
yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, well, Meraki's no longer in existence. So yeah, well, there you go. I did MC.
Oh my God, Joe, I know you.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
do.
saying.
I shouldn't have given you that bone though. I knew you were number 1. I was like, kind of like, I'll give her a bone. Um, but yeah, no, that
Well, I think like it would have been worse if you didn't get the first or mine right. Then it would have been worse. But you know me too.
that's
You
also
know
true.
how very screwed up I am, and that I couldn't be screwed up enough to annihilate a sushi restaurant if I love it that much.
Exactly. Oba King, Oba King says it's amazing how most comics on this show have been arrested.
Which is true, but
I
also,
have it.
have we all been arrested, comedy-wise, though? Because we all know what goes affiliated with comedy. I was just having a good time with a girlfriend. I mean, like, really.
And Storm thought he also thought 2 would be the lie. Yeah. So Storm, you got it right. You got it right, Storm. Congratulations.
Guys, I know you think that this face couldn't, get any action, but when I was younger, I looked good. I looked really good.
All right. So to the viewers still watching, there is another game that I would like to play. Chantal said that off air, she said that she's game to also play it. So I like to sometimes play with the guys or girls that come onto the show, the impressions game. And this is where you guys send in suggestions for us to do impersonations of actors, famous people, public figures, whatever the case, or just accents, whatever. We actually had a funny story, Chantal and I, how we can't do accents. Um, so now everyone's
We're
gonna
like really
suggest
bad.
accents. Now everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, do the accent."
Screw it up. This is why I never do accents in my comedy because I'm just so bad at it.
You're good at the Afrikaans accent, but I guess that's because, like you said, you You grew up.
Yeah, but I mean, I was raised in Brakpan. It's not that difficult to impersonate your neighbor.
All right, so I'm gonna give it a few moments. If you guys want us to do an impression, then we'll do it. If not, then we'll just move on with the conversation. If you guys do think of anything, don't be afraid to comment. To get things started, though, we can suggest one. Like I can suggest for you to impersonate something, and you can suggest for me to impersonate something. And I'll let you give me something to impersonate first.
Oh shit, that's really difficult because I did not think about this. But I'll give you an easy one. Please impersonate Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah, but he's like.
It's bland. You just have to talk. That's all you have to do. It's so easy.
Okay, hold on.
Do you have a face mask? You could just put it over your eyes.
Wait.
I really didn't think about this beforehand.
Wait.
We should have briefed.
My fellow Americans, my fellow South Africans. Okay, that's my impersonation done.
You know what I was just thinking about? I feel bad for him because I think South Africans thought he wanted to put the mask on and he was just wiping the sweat off his forehead. Maybe he just needed a rag.
Oh, man.
Oh, you're going to give me something now and let's see how bad I can do it because I'm literally... Okay, so what's the vibe?
No, I thought I would give you something quite easy because I think this is actually going to be super easy because I think it's something you may have done anyway in your past. Impersonate and give us your best impression of Casper de Vries.
Hallo Jelle, plakkenballen, doet mij. Plakkenballen met mijn linkerhand, doet mij. Plakkenballen, no. Nasal Casper, but it's Casper. I'm still in character.
Oh man, that was brilliant. All right.
I'm sorry, if he had to see this now, he'd give me so much grief about that.
Oh, good. I hope he does.
I'm sending this to him literally after this. If he's obviously not tuned in, I don't think he is.
Okay, so Storm's given a suggestion. All I want for Christmas is an Irish or Scottish accent. Get your Billy Connolly on.
Ooh, Irish is so difficult. And the only way I can start it is by being blasphemous because that's what Irish people do. And I might even go Scottish. That's the problem. I'm trying to not be blasphemous right now. We got good-looking hair there.
Not
wait.
Okay.
That's close.
Yeah, that was
you got good-looking hair there.
Yeah.
Give me a pint of beer. That's close. That's
close.
I think that's close.
That's pretty much spot on. Scottish. I've never understood this. I think that was like more Scottish than Irish, or was it Irish? I don't know.
It's possible. I don't know the difference. I'm white.
So are the Scottish people. That made no sense.
Yeah, but they're not Corans. They're not the South African ones. We're a special breed.
I used to be able to do Irish quite well back in the day. I was like, when I want to do the Irish, I have to put myself as a leprechaun for some reason, and I know that it's so. I know that it's so, like, look at the Irish, like that. Look at the Irish. Look at me. I'm a leprechaun. Hey, you give me a potato. I told you my accents change over time. That went into some weird, like, Australian.
You're not the only person. Like, literally. I could start like, crikey, look, it's a crocodile. And then all of a sudden I'm British. It happens to the best of us.
Well, Storm says that you nailed it. So congratulations, you nailed it on that one. So there you go. All right. Impressions, and we've had some fun with that. We have about 15 minutes left. So let me ask you something that I also ask all the other guests on my show that I also find can be very interesting, because you're someone who also organizes comedy shows in Cape Town. So you've seen a lot of what I'm about to ask you. Give us the most embarrassing gig you've ever done. Now, when I say that, it either means that you organized it or you were just on the lineup. It doesn't have to be necessarily one that you've organized. So the most embarrassing gig you've ever been at or experienced.
I mean, like when we talk about embarrassing, it always kind of boils down to either a very unsuccessful gig or just death. Death is always the thing for me. And the most like daunting gig I've ever done in my entire life is that we performed to a room full of veterans that were either blind or deaf. And I have never heard silence in my life before. I heard silence, and so did the deaf people, but that's not really my fault. But it is so difficult because like the blind people can hear you, but they can't see your facial expressions, and the deaf people actually just, I don't know if they have a clue what's going on because they weren't sitting very close to the stage. So reading my lips wouldn't be successful either. So yeah, I think I wanted to quit my comedy career after that. I definitely, it hurt a lot.
Wow, that's wow. I mean, clearly it didn't, like, comedy doesn't normally work. I mean, it can't work. You have blind and deaf. You need both. Like,
you need somebody that's going to tell you what's happening, and there was nobody. Which is just like, I feel the person that like put this party together is a shit friend. Like, you guys should discard that person out of your group.
So this was a party. This was like a birthday party or something.
Yeah, it was like a thing. It was like a little veterans congregation. Like they all got together and reminisced about.
Okay.
I don't know. You know, they didn't see it coming or whatever, those things. And I was just like, this is bad, guys. This is bad. No. And the worst part is I never got paid for that slot. I chose to go there that night to do a guest slot, hoping to work some new material. Well, unsuccessful. Huh? Unsuccessful. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, that hurt me deep to my core.
So this wasn't like a corporate booking. This was like like an event that was organized by a fellow comedian. We won't mention names, but just want to understand that you were part of a lineup of entertainment.
Oh yeah. I was part of a club lineup. It was an actual club, and I was just like, whew, no. Wow. And I regretted asking for that stage time. I mean, I don't often, but I regretted that night.
Did you speak to any other comedian? You don't mention names, but did you speak to any other comedian that after that night who may have, yeah, did they?
Whole lineup, you know. I don't know, because obviously you know this. We as comics love other comics' misery. So if we fail, we hang around to see the other people fail so we don't feel alone. And I stayed all night just to make that I wasn't the only bad one. It made me feel much better.
It's true though. It's so true.
It is. It's like, people, you guys didn't know this, but we are horrible to each other sometimes. And not in a bad way. We don't do it because we hate each other and it's malicious. We do it because this is the name of the game, and roll with the punches. And if you can't, sorry, sayonara.
You need a thick skin.
It's tough out there.
I think it's also like, if I was in your shoes, I would have done the same. I would have been like, screw this. I'm staying because I have to make sure that it wasn't me. That's the thing. I have to make sure
exactly
that it wasn't like I did something wrong. Was it the way I looked? My name? Not that they could see or hear it, but still, I need to know.
Oh my God, it's so terrible. And this is the thing, like when the headliner starts dying, and you never want to do that. You always want to be very positive. But when the headliner dies on an evening like this, you're just sitting at the back there going, it's like you've been set free from
Yeah,
that curse.
it's a reassurance. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a reassurance, like the comedy gods are saying, it's not just you. Relax. Um, and that's the thing. Like we're not happy that he's dying. We're happy that like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, we're happy that that only child syndrome is not going to hurt us
Yeah.
in the long run. That's pretty much what it is.
Because that's the
Like,
thing.
because in comedy we become like siblings. We hate each other in the same way, and we love each other in the same way.
Absolutely. Like, and the thing is, like, I can imagine, like, if I was on that lineup, right, and everybody else killed it, but I didn't. Oh my god. Now,
Oh no, that would have been done. That would have been done. I would just be like, I don't know if I'm coming back for a long time. I mean, like, and I think you might know this comedy club, and I'm not going to mention names just so you clearly, but there was a comedy club that we had in Cape Town that we just like, it was the room of death. And there are so many times that I've walked out of that comedy club down those stairs, and I've seen many comedians do the same thing. We cry because it was so bad. They should have just had a wall of death, and every comedian that's ever performed there would be on that wall because it was just so bad. Oh, I miss that place. So many memories. Yeah, that was fun.
We have a new viewer, Tracy Lee Wagner, says, hi, Joe and Chantal. And she also says, Chantal, I write comics for kicks. I fail every day. You've inspired me, though. Thanks. P.S. It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday, love.
Happy
Maybe a good
birthday,
one.
Tracy.
It's lockdown, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we could just all have like a celebration after lockdown. Imagine the big birthday party that would be. That would be amazing.
Dude, you have no idea the things that I'm planning after the lockdown. Like, you have no idea. I was actually speaking to someone about this. They were like, oh, I'm going to go so-and-so, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go there. I was like, dude, I'm going to go to Canal Walk on payday and stand in a queue and perform stand-up comedy in the queue.
I will find a stage.
I was like, I don't care, man. And I'm just going to stand in a queue and be like, I miss this.
Dude, that is so true. They've said that lockdown, no theaters will open up, which means entertainment is dead for the longest time. We don't know when we're going back to work. But if you're standing in front of the door of the closed locksmith at Checkers and you're just making some funnies, they didn't say we couldn't do that, you know?
Exactly.
Busk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm cool. Just let me know when you're there so I don't go on the same day.
Yeah, no, we'll do like a whole lineup. We'll do the pick and pay comedy, Q comedy.
We'll all have our locations, right? Keep your location. It's like car guards. Like we have our territories and don't cross over.
Oh man, that's like I also thought of like maybe going like just screwing around with people, because that's the thing. I think comedians are also gonna feel very naughty in the sense of like we're gonna want to prank people. Because we're jokers. We like to joke with each other, and we like to joke with people. And I was like, oh, one of the things I might do is go to like Pick and Pay, where they have the intercom, and just say something really quickly like, excuse me, Yako, please go back to aisle 6. You dropped your condoms. Yako, please go back to aisle 6.
That's funny.
Just to
There's so much opportunity, and I think that after lockdown, people will be because I was thinking about it today, and you're saying it now, but in the world right now, it's a really difficult world to be funny in. The world is a very difficult place to be funny in because people are sensitive, and everybody lives in a different era to what we used to.
Yeah.
And so it's a really difficult job, and it becomes so intricate just trying to think about how you need to do things so you don't offend a multitude of people. When I think that after this is almost like a reset, but we can realize that humor is there to educate.
Yeah.
And also, see it for what it is. I think it's going to get to a point where we're going to miss the things that we took for granted.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's already happening for sure. I mean,
I know, because I don't have any alcohol and I miss it. I've been drinking non-alcoholic beer, which is lovely, by the way, when you have no alternative.
Then you really appreciate every sip.
I know, right? It's like gold in a cup, dude. No, I
have
people don't know the story.
I have one Savannah in my fridge, and here's the funny part. It's not because I'm savoring it. It's not because I'm like, oh, I'll drink it later. It's because I don't want it, to be honest. And Savannah, it's no offense to you. I promise, no offense to you. I'm still suffering from fucking Comics Choice Awards 2014 with all the Savannah that you gave us for free. I mean, wow.
That is fair. Also, Savannah, I am not affiliated with this message, and I do not condone this message. I'm thinking of work, Joe.
No, but like, hey, Savannah and I have a partnership, okay? We have a partner. We have an understanding. Look, if Savannah, you want to give me some of that new gin that you guys have, that's good. I'll drink that gin.
That's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But listen,
I'm not a fan of Savannah Light. I'll drink the Loco. That's my favorite. The Loco, I can't stop drinking.
The Loco is good. The Blackbeard was so good with the rum in it. Are we talking about Savannah? Like, are we reminiscing on alcohol? We have a sincere problem, my friend. Like, people in the UK, my friend, I video called him the other day, and he's in the UK, and he's sitting in front of me, just having a glass of wine, having a cigarette. And I'm like, dude, why don't you just order fucking KFC and eat that in front of me too? Why don't you just do that? Like, why don't you just live your goddamn life right now? I mean, like, that is elastic soda stream behavior. It hurt my feelings, man.
Oh, man. I just want to get to some of these comments, man. Monique, thank you so much. She says, haha, I love you guys. We love you too. Thank you so much for watching, Monique.
Yeah.
Tracy says, thank you, beautiful Chantal. Death after lockdown or death of... Well, she said death with an F, but I don't know if she meant death.
Oh.
But death or death after lockdown.
Definitely.
After lockdown. I'll be front row wherever you are. So there you go. You got a fan.
Yeah,
we can't wait for you to be out. I've been laughing online for weeks now. Thank you, Tracy. You have been watching for a very long time. Thank you so much for being a good fan. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, there is a donation box which you guys can donate to us. 20% goes to me, 80% goes to Chantal. I do this for all my guests at each of the show just to help us out during the lockdown because obviously, like we just said, there are no gigs. So whatever you can, 20 Rand, 2,000 Rand, it's up to you. And you can you can donate whatever you want. Also, the donation box is open for the next 48 hours. So even if you're watching this after the fact, you can still donate up until the 7th of May, 11:30. That's when the donation box closes. So for those of you who may be watching this now or later, please don't forget about that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Please subscribe. Cool. So we're pretty much approaching the end of the hour, man. It goes by quite quickly. So as I told you, I usually give a moment for the guests to give their final words. If there's any optimistic message you want to give, motivation for people, final joke, and also where people can follow you, where they can see you next, if there's anything. And then if you want, you can stay on Skype and I'll chat to you when I go offline. Or if you have to go, you can just say bye now. It's up to you. But if you have anything to say, here you go.
Now's the time. Okay, so guys, just a last reminder. Don't screw around in lockdown. This is not the end of the world. It's all going to change. It won't be soon, but it will change, and we all get through it together. Second point, the other thing that's a real problematic thing in South Africa right now is that the police are having a very tough time doing their job because every criminal is a masked criminal. That's funny. Laugh, Joe. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys will watch our show on Mondays, Kasi as well. Love chatting to you, Joe. It was super fun. I actually really enjoyed that. That made my evening a hell of a lot better.
Thank you.
So continue doing this because I think that we as comedians also need a bit of relief.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Chantal Venter. Thank you so much, Chantal, for being a guest on my show tonight. It was truly a pleasure, and I'll definitely have you back in the future where we'll talk more shenanigans in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, please don't forget to donate. That's open for 48 hours. So donate, donate, donate if you can. I know I sound like I'm begging. But this is the 2020 busking. This is what we do now. This is all we have. So please share, please like, please let people know that I'm doing this. I have a whole lot of other comedians that I'm interviewing. You can also go onto my YouTube channel, and I've interviewed Barry Hilton, Stuart Taylor, Kurt Langefeld, Dylan Skews, and a whole lot of other comedians. And it's all been fun. It's all been interesting. Last week I had Mel Jones. Rolf Van Furen was also on the show, who gave a very, very, very funny story to the question of what was your most embarrassing gig. And oh my word, guys, you have to go and watch it, please. It's the best story. It's the best story you'll ever hear in lockdown. I dare say that. It's tears of joy. And so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that tuned in, those of you that are watching, thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. It means a lot to the comedians. So again, please share this video. Let people know what I'm trying to do, which is give these comedians a bit of a platform, myself a bit of a platform, and we just have a nice conversation with you guys. You guys get to join in the conversation as well, have a bit of fun with us. And tomorrow night, I will be doing another show different to this one with fellow comedian Vanner Weber, where we talk about interesting topics. Some of it is conspiracies, but some of it's other stuff. Like tomorrow, we'll be talking about entheogenics. And if you don't know what that is, neither do I, and we'll find out together tomorrow because Vanner's going to educate us on that. Then afterwards, on Thursday, it's back to Sit Down and Lockdown, where we have Eugene Matthews on the show. That's going to be a very fun one. And I believe Chantal and Eugene used to do a show together, so we'll talk about that. Then next week, there's Conrad Koch on the show with Chester Missing. I also have Robin Dunlop, and Sneh Ladla is coming on as well later on in the week. Oh, and this is a very fun one. I've started something new, which is roasting. So that is going to start this Friday. We're doing the second episode of Roasting, which is I'm going to be the roast master, and then we'll have Yazid and Oba King roasting there in the roast panel. So that's going to be fun. If you missed the first episodes, those are available on my channel. You guys can check that out. It's a whole lot of fun. We only roast the ones we love, and you guys get to roast us back, and we might roast you back too. So yeah, for now, that's it. Stay safe, be good to one another. Good night, and I'll see you at the next one.